We're starting Kol HaBasar. We started last week, and we're holding now on Daf Kuf Daled Amud Aleph, the last 5 lines.
What page is this?
Kuf Daled Amud Aleph.
No,
We're going to talk about the eretz yisrael tonight and the Gemara. Many Yidden are voting today, and a big consideration of their votes is the future of eretz yisrael. For some odd reason, it seems to be connected to the presidential race in the United States of America, even though Lecha, there's no connection.
it's funny, today in Israel they have Yom Tov.
Yeah.
Yom Aliyah.
Yom Mama?
Aliyah.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how they choose it for today. And it's lech, parshyos Lecha, Avraham Avinu, lech me'artzecha. So once a year in this day, November 7 or 8, and it's also election day.
They have Israel has elections today, their own elections?
Not election. They made a new holiday. It's called the Aliyah.
I hear that, but the Rabbi was saying that today's election day and it's so.
No. I said a lot of Yidden are voting.
I mean,
A lot of people are voting based on what they feel might be good or not good for eretz yisrael.
One of my first class told me that in eretz yisrael they start saying "B'sen tal moto livrocha."
What is that?
Today in eretz yisrael, right, Zayin?
Okay.
So the word motto and Trump is the same letter, same motif.
Matter with what?
Trump, not Trump,
Trump matter?
same motif.
Mashiach ben David, also Trump. Yeah. You make a matter, yes, Mashiach ben David. People find all these gematriot now.
The best picture I got is not for the shiur. Is Trump staying in the street and he says it's a garbage day today. He's got like the 2 finger, and in the garbage truck is Obama and Clinton. A lot of them. What's the difference? Let's see what the Gemara says.
Yeah.
Yad melachim beyad Hashem. We can jump, Hashem, choose who is going to be.
Amen. Amen.
Before we start the Gemara will talk about the Chala of eretz yisrael and Chala of Chutz La'aretz. Chala of eretz yisrael have a kedusha. Chala of Chutz La'aretz doesn't have a kedusha. Chacham said to take Chala even the Chutz La'aretz. So when we come back to eretz yisrael after the long golus, we shouldn't forget about the obligation of Chala. We take Chala today in Chutz La'aretz. Our minig is that we take it, we burn it. But essentially, the real kedusha, right? The real kedusha and Chala is only in eretz yisrael. This week's parsha, we find that the Eibishter 4 times promises to Avraham Avinu he's going to get the land. Right when he goes into the land, the Eibishter speaks Ve'era Hashem al Avram, Vayomer lazaracho etein es haaretz hazois. I'm going to give it to them. Loit, he gets rid of Loit. Again, the Eibishter speaks to him. The Eibishter says, "Kol haaretz asher toiroya lecho etenena." I will give it to you. Lazaracha d'olam kumes alach ba'aretz l'orka l'rochvi lecho etenena. Go walk in the whole eretz yisrael. It's going to be yours. At the end of the parsha, again, the Eibishter speaks to him. The Eibishter says, "You know what? You're going to inherit this land. It's going to be a Yerusha for you." And then the Eibishter says that Avraham Avinu asks a question. He says, the Eibishter says, it'll be your Yerusha. Vayomer, he said, Hashem Elokim b'ma'eda kirshena. Eibishter said, let's make a krisus bris. They cut the thing, they walk in between the two parts, and then he sees a vision, he sees it's going to be a golus. They will suffer 400 years and they will be redeemed. Then they will return to Eretz Yisrael. And finally, the pasuk concludes, "Vayamu koretz Hashem Avram bis lemar lazaracha nasati es aretz azois." I already gave this land. The Yerushalmi says, it's interesting, in the beginning of the parsha it says, "Etein, I will give." Here it says, "Nosati, I already gave." That at that point, after Avraham Avinu walked in Eretz Yisrael, it already belonged to him. Muchzekes kfar, it was already belonged.
One of the way to make a kinyan is
walk.
Right? And the Talmud Yonis Mazil says that was that he was coin of the land then, and now it was in the beginning of the parsha, Nasati, I will give it. At the end of the parsha, it doesn't say Nasati. It doesn't say Etin, it says Nasati. In the beginning it says I will give, now I gave already. Okay. The Rogachover points out that in the beginning of the parsha, both times when the Eibusha speaks, before the Egypt, after the Egypt incident, the Eibusha says that it's going to be Nosati, which means a matana. At the end of the parsha, it says the Eibusha says, I'm going to give it as Yerusha. So he says in the beginning, the Eibusha gave it just as a matana, and then he gave it as Yerusha. Rogachover says that there's a difference between the first time the Yidden went into Eretz Yisrael, it was like a matana. Second time they went into Eretz Yisrael, after the 70 years of Golus, it was like a Yerusha. The truth is, if you look at the Pesukim, the second time, the Eibusha tells them there's going to be a Golus. But don't worry, the Jews are going to come back here. Also, when they spoke in connection with Brisbane Absorim, the Meforshim say, Chazal says in the Gemara Nedorim, the Pirkei de Belezer, Meforshim say, it was sort of a sin for Avraham Avinu, compared to his tzidkas, to ask such a question. So over here, this is connected to the second base of Mikdash. But the question is, well, how is the first base of Mikdash connected to Matana and the second base of Mikdash connected to Yerusha? Why? Why would you say the first base of Mikdash is connected to Matana and the second to Yerusha? There is a Rambam, a very, very, very important Rambam. And since last week we did the Siyum Rambam, this week we'll continue the Siyum Rambam. It's not the Siyum, but it's something to do with a very important thing in the Rambam. And so the Sudas Mitzvah will be a Hemshech to Siyum Rambam.
Good.
So the Rambam says a very, very important thing. The Rambam says that you should know that Eretz Yisrael, the Kedusha, is forever and ever. The Rambam says, when it was the first base of Mikdash, the Kedusha was only because of Kibush, because of conquest. When the Goyim went and they conquered the land away from the Jews, and Nebuchadnezzar came, but the Jewish conquest was wiped away. Torah, according to the Torah law, Eretz Yisrael was not any more a holy place. And now it was Potter, Memaisres, Meshviyas, Sherein Eretz Yisrael. It's not Eretz Yisrael anymore. The holiness of Eretz Yisrael expired. No more. When Ezra went out, it came out of Golus and brought the Jews back to Eretz Yisrael. Now he sanctified it with chazaka. That kedusha stays forever and ever. And even though the Jews lost the land and it was taken away. Yeah, we'll talk about this exactly. But they have to understand first, to understand the Rambam. And therefore it's chayav b'shviyas b'maises. We'll have to understand. The Meforshim will ask, and the Keshev Mishnah asks, I don't understand. What is the Rambam saying? The Rambam says like this. Again, summarize. The Rambam says, the first time they went into Eretz Yisrael with Yeshua, they conquered the land. So it came Sancheiriv, came Nebuchadnezzar. The holiness expired. No more holy. It's not Eretz Yisrael. It's Pata from Truma to Pata Maisa. Second time when they came into Eretz Yisrael, they sanctified the land. The land is sanctified forever and ever. And therefore now it's Chayiv and Truma Maisris. Why? The first time was Kibush, conquest. So as long as the Jews held on to it, they had conquest, it was holy. Taken away, no holy. Second time was Chazaka. So therefore Chazaka stays forever. Kasef Mishnah says, I don't understand what you're talking about. First of all, who cares how you acquire a land? I paid you with dollars or rubles. I paid you with a check or with a money order. Does it belong to me? It belongs to me. So why is it the first time it belongs to the Yidden was taken away? Oh, the Kedusha expires. Second time, why? What's the difference of Kibush and Chazaka? If the Goyim have the ability to take it away, and therefore the Kedusha expires, so it should happen both times. And if they don't, it should never happen. It should always happen or never happen. Why are you telling me that when they conquered the land, the first time which you should they conquered, bottle the Kibush. Second time was Chazaka. What does it mean? And besides, the second question, he says, the first time they came in, there was only Kibush, there was no Chazaka. It was both. Kibush, they conquered it. Chazaka, they sat there. They plowed the fields, and they went around the land. They built fences. They didn't have Chazaka. They built houses and cities and walls and bridges, gates. They had Chazaka. The first time was even better. They had Kibush plus Chazaka. The second time, they didn't conquer anything. They had only Chazaka. And the first base of Mikdash was even better. They had Chazaka and Kibush. So that was the two Kesef Mishnah's two basic questions. Again, to summarize. The Rambam says the first base of Mikdash was destroyed, the Kedusha expired. Second base of Mikdash was destroyed, the Kedusha did not expire. Why? The first base of Mikdash was Kibush, the second was Chazaka. So the Kesef Mishnah asks, number one, what difference could do how you got the land? If the Kedusha could expire, it should expire always. And if it can't, it shouldn't expire. And the second is, why are you telling me the first one was only Kibush and the second was only Chazaka? The first one was even better. They had both, Kibush and Chazaka. So there's several answers that Adva says. In the first base of Mikdash, they were not Mekadosh Bepeh. Ezra came in and he sanctified it. He declared that it's a holy land. Very nice answer. First of all, nowhere in Tanakh do we find that Ezra ever made such a declaration. Besides, that's not what the Rambam is saying. That's a very nice pshat, but that's not what the Rambam is. The Rambam is saying the first time was Kibush, second was Chazaka. Nothing to do with making declarations of holiness or not. Toysus Yom Tov answers. He says, the second time they had permission from the king, from the Goyim. They had the Dasa Noisen that was given to them. It's also it's hard to understand. What are the rules of law here? The laws of war are that when a king conquers a land, it's conquered. The shaila is that chal for Eretz Yisrael or not? There's a concept of bo puritzim v'echalua. They could desecrate the holiness. So could they or can't they? So the question is, could they come and destroy Eretz Yisrael and take it away from us? Could they or can't they? If they could, what's the difference how we acquired it? If the law is, it's like the regular laws of war, so if it applies to Eretz Yisrael, so then what's the difference? The first, the second, Kibush, Chazaka, they can take it. Another teretz that Tosfos Yom Tov says, he says the first time there was a prophecy. The Eibusha said that Nebuchadnezzar is going to conquer it. So therefore the Kedusha expired. The second time there was no prophecy that it said Befedish. There was no Nevius Befedish the second Churban. And therefore, who says there has to be a Churban? So it was unjustified for Titus to come and destroy. So therefore, Karkain and Exelis, they had no right, so it's as if there was no conquest, really. Again, first of all, that's not what the Rambam is saying. Secondly, again, it's the shaila is, does Kibush work or Kibush not work? What does it have to do with the Nevuah? If does a Goyim have the... in general, the rule is that there is the rules of war, that you could conquer someone else's land, it becomes your land. Is it a Chalal Yisrael? It's not Chalal Yisrael. What does it have to do with even besides, well, obviously it was ordained from the Eibusha that both
but the second time you're taking something that was mine, you just take it back what was mine. The first base of Mikdash was there. You took away the Kedusha. I'm bringing back what you took away from me. I'm not taking something new.
Yeah, but why? But how did the first kedusha go away? Because it was a kibush of the goyim. So why the second time the kibush didn't do anything? What the shaila is? Why is it different?
The opposite. The second time the kibush did something, he did it in such a way that now it's a
No.
Yerusha.
No, but then now the goyim came along and they were kovish the land and took it away from the Eden. Why is it the first time the goyim take away the land from the Eden? We say, oh, the kedusha was expired, and the second time the goyim come along and the Nebuchadnezzar comes and takes away the land. We say, oh, the kedusha is expired. The land is potav, meiseres, trumas, shvius. Second time when the Titus comes, we say no. Because he made chazaka, like why is chazaka stronger? That's the bottom line question that the Kesef Mishnah is asking. What's the difference? What difference does it make? I got it through kibush, I got it through chazaka. Could the goyim take it away? Could can't take it away. If they could, they could always do it, and if they can't, they can never do it. Why is it that you're telling me is the kedusha rishona is kitcha l'shaita v'loy kitcha l'asad and you pass in the kedusha shni? I mean that's what the Rabbi Yossi says in the Mishnah, but the Rambam gives an explanation here. So the shaila, what's the explanation? What's the Rambam giving? And besides, again, the other shaila that the Kesef Mishnah is asking is, what do you mean the first time was only kibush? The first time was no chazaka? What does chazaka mean? A chazaka on a karka, right? I'm plowing, I'm planting, I'm building. That's what they did for 410 years. They had chazaka. They only had kibush. Sure, they had yeshuvot.
Yeah,
410. It couldn't be a stronger chazaka. And that's what the Kesef Mishnah is asking. What are you telling me? The first time there was no. What, they had a war and they ran away. They went to the moon for 410 years. They didn't just have a kibush milchama and walk away. They had a kibush milchama, and then they were machzik on the karka. They had a bias for. They had the ultimate chazaka 410 years. The Rebbe says azay. The pshat lechoyre is azay. There's two parts to eretz yisrael. There's a kinyan of money that belongs to the Jewish people, and then there is kedusha of eretz yisrael. We find in this week's parsha that the beginning of the Eibishter said l'zaracha etin, I will give. After Avram Avinu walks l'or kol orachba, l'zaracha nosati. The Yerushalmi says nosati kvar. It already belongs to them. That's it. It belongs to the Yid. It belongs already to it. So much so, api alocha, because there's a that belonged to Yisrael to the Eden. There's a concept of a bechor. A bechor can only take double on whatever is muchzik, not be'osilov. Even stuff that's in a boat, that's on the other end. Boats, we never know what's in those days. You never know what's going to happen. The boats are going to arrive. They're going to come. They're going to get pirates. It's going to be storms in the high seas. The bechor does not get. He does not get beroi kebemuchzik. Does not get double on that. Whatever you have here, whatever you see, the bechor gets a double portion on that. Beroi, ich weiß, the shtarchoives, the ships on the other end of the world, that he doesn't get double. He doesn't, because that's the din. And the Gemara says when it came to Bnei Slavchod, their father, because it was a bechor, he had double. So the Gemara asks, but he didn't. What do you mean he had? He didn't have it yet. They didn't go into Eretz Yisrael. The Gemara says, no, Eretz Yisrael is different. Eretz Yisrael muchzekasi. It's already muchzek. What do you mean? It's not here. It's here. It belongs already to Eretz Yisrael. In other words, the Yidden were ready
and this is second
in the desert before they went in the first time. So the Gemara already says that it's already muchzek. Why? Because already from, like the Yerushalmi says, Avram Avinu, the Eibishter said, l'zarachi nosati kvar.
So why you make a chiluk the second time?
Pshat is like this. When it comes to the bias of money, it really belonged to the Eden before they went in, even the first time. Bias moment, it belonged already to them. It already belonged to them. It belonged to them already from parshyos Lecha.
So why Avram Avinu have to buy a kibbutz?
It's a separate question. It's a good question. But that's a separate good. It's a good question. But why did David HaMelech buy why did he buy the garden from Arvona Yevusi?
It's his.
So parshyos there was just to take away machloikis. The goyim shouldn't have tainus, shouldn't be a chilul Hashem. The poshta pinigla pshat is that was just a formality. Just the goyim shouldn't. But was really belonged to the Eden, and it belonged from when the Eibishter said b'bris ben absarim l'razarach nosati kvar. It already belongs to the Eden. So when it comes to mominus, it belongs to the Eden. If the Eibishter said, like Rashi says, it's done. It's a done deal. The Eibishter said, Nosati, I already gave it. Now there's a second question.
The Rishonim and the Medachtikim Rishonim point out something very, very, very interesting and very, very insightful to many, many Pesukim in the Tanakh. That in Hebrew, there's no such thing as past and future, like we have in English. There's a thing called, it's translates called in English, what we call in generally in English, past. In Hebrew, it's not really past. It's what's called. No, it's called past perfect. So that means in effect that, like when it says Zarachon, like there's a proof it from, let's say the classic proof is from Avraham at the Marat Machpelah. He said Natati kesef asadeh, and he did not yet give it. So, but that's if you interpret Natati as being past, and it doesn't make any sense to him. But if you interpret it as past, as a past perfect, the past perfect means that in the mind of the person who says the thing, it's as if it's done already. Like it's so strong that it's as if it's done already, even though it's not really done. And the same thing with what we call future. It's not really future, it's something else. Like Rashi himself brings it, that he says, Vayas Iyov. So it doesn't mean that Iyov will do it, but it means that it's something that Iyov is doing on a constant level. And it's not really finished. So when it says here, that Natati et Aretz L'Zaracha, it doesn't mean that he already gave it. When he's saying, he's talking to Abraham, but it means that right now it's not yours, but it's in my mind. It's so definite already that it will be yours that I say Natati.
Okay.
And when he said, I gave already, when he said the first time I gave already.
But Yerushalmi...
but it doesn't say, look, the Torah is not written in English, it's written in Hebrew.
Right,
so
and in Hebrew...
Say, I gave it already. It says Natati, which means that I did not give it to you already, but in my mind it's so definite that it will be given to you. Okay. That I say Natati, it's just as if it has been given to you, but it's not.
And he said Lecha.
The truth is, what you're saying sounds a lot like Rashi. Rashi says that it sounds like that. What you're saying, it sounds a lot that way. The Eibushter, by human being, you say, it'll happen or not. The Eibushter, the Dibur is Kamaisa. But the Yerushalmi says that, no, L'Nazaracha no Sati Kbar. Yerushalmi says it, spells it out, and there's no doubt what Yerushalmi meant. Yerushalmi says, no, L'Nazaracha no Sati Kbar. It belongs already. In other words, it already has, and the Gemara by Tzimloi Slavcha, the Gemara holds that this land was already muchzik, therefore, Tzlofcha already got from Chefer, because he was a Bechor, he already got, the Gemara says, that he already got his Chelak as a Bechor, even though you don't get Baroik of a Muchzik, the Gemara holds that it was already Muchzik. In other words, so from here, we see that the Bailus of money, the Bailus was already there, that the ownership, as far as Torah is concerned, the ownership in other words, there's a money ownership, that there's already there. The Shaila is about Kedushas Eretz Yisrael. And the Kedushas Eretz Yisrael, the Eibishter says that in the first base of Mikdash, and the first time the Yidden went into Eretz Yisrael, the Eibishter says, V'nich b'sha'aretz lifneichem, chalutzim tavru, va'atem tavru chamushim lifnei achechem. The Yidden are obligated to conquer the land. So they're obligated to conquer the land. The Kedusha, the Bibles they already have, Mom and they already had. In order for the Kedusha to come into Eretz Yisrael, they need to go and conquer it. So therefore, they that's what the Abishah said. If you want it to be holy, you have to go in and conquer it.
Go to a war and then conquer the Kedusha.
And the Demas even though they finished conquering the whole Eretz Yisrael only in the days of David and Melech, but the Rambam writes that therefore right away Yeshua Beis Din split up the land to all of the Yidden, because it was already as if the kibush happened in the beginning. The Rebbe has a nice word. There's a lot of kinyonim where you give like Mesidus Mafteach, right? Like one of the kinyonim we do because when we sell chometz, like with a goy, it's very complicated making kinyonim with a goy. So anyway, for actually we do at least 6 kinyonim, but one of the kinyonim we do is Mesiras Mafteach. The Gemara says that what's Man'ula Shel Eretz Yisrael, the keys to Eretz Yisrael was Yericho. Yericho was Man'ula Shel Eretz Yisrael, and that's why when it came to the war of Yericho, all the Niskansel Otoicha Zayin Umas, because the nations knew that if Yericho is going to fall, that's it. The whole Eretz Yisrael is easily going to fall. So because they knew that was, therefore they put in all the effort to protect Yericho. Yidden just went around with the hakafas, and then that's it. That was at the end of Yericho. But they put in a lot of effort to fortify Yericho, because that was Man'ula Shel Eretz Yisrael. So once the Yidden already did kibush on Yericho, which is Man'ula Shel Eretz Yisrael, in a certain sense, that's why also explains. There's a whole Perek in Tanakh about the story of the people of Givoin. The people of Givoin, they fooled the Jews and they said, we want to convert, and then it turned out that Givoin, that they were really from the people that lived in Eretz Yisrael, but the Jews didn't want to kill them because they already made a shvuah to them, they would make a chilul Hashem, so they let them live. So one could ask, over there was no kibush. Didn't conquer their lands. They didn't conquer it at all. There was no conquest by the lands of Givoin.
They
cities
decided to give it to us.
They gave it. So what is the Rambam saying is kibush? But you could say, Dr. Rebbe, that because it happened after they conquered Yericho. So once you conquered Mal'ula Shel Eretz Yisrael, there was already. So that was a chalois of kedusha came into Eretz Yisrael. The Eibusha said, "How are you going to bring the money? Belongs already. 400 years ago, it belongs to you." But how are you going to have the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, the nich b'shoretz lefnecha, chalutzim tavru, kol giboy rechayel? They have to do it through kibush. Kibush means that I conquer it, I have an upper hand. But if someone else conquers it back away from me, there's no more kibush. So the mela, there's no more kedusha. Mashenke, in the second time they went in, that's not what the Eibusha said. The Eibusha said, v'shovu b'orechem asher tofastem. You should do tfisa, you should do chazaka. The Eibusha said, "Efkedeschem lohoshiveschem alamokim." It doesn't say anything about v'nich b'shoretz. Obviously, we know historically there was no kibush. Kodesh said that you can go up to the land, but it's not just historically. But if you look in Tanakh, if you look in Torah Shebiksav, when it comes up to putting in the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael, in the first time, the Eibusha tells them that they have to do kibush. The second time, the Eibusha says, "V'shova barechem shetafastem," they have to do chazaka. So therefore, that answers the question that what was the question? The Kesef Mishnah says, well, the first time they had kibush and chazaka, well, they had both. No, the kedusha of Eretz Yisrael is going to come into Eretz Yisrael when we do what the Eibusha says, not the way we decide to put in the kedusha. The Eibusha tells us how we're going to put the kedusha into Eretz Yisrael. First time he said that it belongs to you. The money-wise, it belongs to you. The land belongs to you. The building belongs to you. The fields belong to you. The houses, the cities, everything belongs to you. Bible's moment belongs to you. But the kedusha, the first going into Eretz Yisrael, the Eibusha says the kedusha is going to come in through kibush. Second time, the Eibusha says the kedusha is going to come in through chazaka. So don't ask me, but the first time also happened chazaka. But that's not how the kedusha is coming in here. First time the Eibusha said it should be through kibush. The second time the Eibusha says it should be through chazaka. And kibush, the way kibush is if I have the upper hand, that's called kibush. If I don't have the upper hand, there's not kibush. Chazaka is different. Chazaka means that the Eibusha said, in a sense, the Eibusha said the second time, that go back to your land. It belongs to you. In other words, the fact that they went back to their land, now all of a sudden the fact that really it belongs to them is also going to put the kedusha in the land. And the fact that Eretz belongs to us is undisputable, and that doesn't have to do with goyim. It always belongs to us. So the first time when the Eibusha said that the kedusha is going to be set through kibush, if the Jews, that means you have the upper hand, you crush the goyim. So when the goyim are not crushed, the goyim they conquer it from the Yidden. So the kedusha is expired. But the second time, the Eibusha said, no. When you will show and establish your bilus of your money in this place, that will set the kedusha. So memela, that kedusha stays forever and ever, because the bilus of mammon is ever and ever. So therefore, the kedusha is ever and ever.
That's the pshat in the Rambam. The first time when they conquered it, they bought the kedusha. once the kedusha not soil, it can't go away. You just have to bring
But
it
the
back.
Rambam says it did go away. That's the whole thing. The Rambam says the first time was only kibush. Therefore, when the goyim took it back, botla kibush, botla kedusha, and this potter from Meiseris and potter from.
And the second time, they
and the
took it
second
back.
time, so that's what the Rebbe is answering, because Bailas Amamim was always there. Elamai, the Shilas, how the kedusha is going to come. The first time the Eibishter said, "V'nich b'sha." The
So
kedusha
the Rebbe just says, I'm giving you kedusha only for 100 years. That's it.
It's like this exactly.
And then he said, I'm going to give you a
And
break.
then-
Now
and
I'm going
the-
to give you
and the
kedusha
second
forever.
time,
Now I'm
right.
going to give you kedusha
Through
forever.
chazaka, what does chazaka mean? Chazaka means that you should show that you're the owner of the place and live there. So b'meila, the fact that the Eden are owner is always that way. So now the kedusha came through their ownership. If the kedusha comes through having a military upper hand, so when you lose it, you lose it. But if the kedusha is said by showing that it belongs to you, that it belongs to the Eden forever and ever, that's never bottled. So therefore, that kedusha stayed forever and ever.
It's like by karka. If somebody holding a karka for 3 years and then somebody comes and says, no, it's mine. Since I was here 3 years, that's you can't prove me different.
That's if he doesn't have a star.
I'm saying, but
If,
the chazok is showing that it was mine even before.
Right.
I don't have to.
Now I don't have to hold on to my star.
So by
because I can
second time when Bnei Yisrael went to soil, is like by me being here now, I just showing you that the kedusha was here already.
and the ikid is because the first time the Eibishter said it should be kibush, so you can't say, well, there was also chazaka here, but that's not how the Eibishter is
It
going to say the
happened to me
kedusha.
there was a chazok, but that's not.
But that's how the Eibish, right? The Eibish said v'nichbasha, that the kedusha has to come through kibush, and now the goyim took it away, so the no more kedusha. But when the Eibish says that v'tafastem v'shova berechem ashetafastem, that it should be through chazaka, oh, so that kedusha stays forever and ever. What is this navodas Hashem? Oh, it's a moededik word. Avodas Hashem is a moededik word. What is this? What does it have to do? It's the difference of tzaddikim and balei tshuva. Tzaddikim, you'd always think it's counterintuitive. Tzaddikim is a bigger kedusha, right? Who's holier? Tzaddikim or balei tshuva?
במקום שבא לתשובה עומדים אין צדיקים גמורים,
Right.
What's that?
Ain't tzaddikim gemurim echam lamed. But where's the kedusha, stronger kedusha?
By a
So
tzaddik,
you,
for sure.
L'choyre, by a tzaddik. But still there is a saying, an axiom, ein chochem kebal
Tzion.
hanesoyen. In other words, like this. The tzaddik, everything is beautiful. The tzaddik brings kedusha, he brings the holiness into this world. But what happens if the world will be at the contradiction to the kedusha? We don't know what's going to happen. He's never been around the block. He's never had ein chochem kebal hanesoyen. The Baal Tshuva has been there and he's done that and he's proven that his connection to the Eibishter is so deep that he came back. He came back. Why did he come back? He was there. It's like good, right?
He's doing chazokah.
But he wasn't happy there. Why wasn't he happy? Because his connection to the Eibishter is so big that going away is not going to satisfy him. So therefore, and then also, you know that he's coming back. He knows how to deal with the Nesoyin. Ein chochem gebal Nesoyin. So therefore, by a Baal Tshuva, it's kitshel shaita, the kitshel ozedlov. The kedusha of Baal Tshuva could be he'll sin again, but he'll know how to deal with it. Knows how to deal with it. Tzaddik doesn't know how to deal with it. You put him in, if
He
he's
never
in the
did
base,
sin, so he doesn't know.
he doesn't know how to deal with it. Baal Tshuva has been there, done that. Come Rachmana litzlan again, and it's, you know.
He'll do tshuva.
Rachmana litzlan, if he stumbles again, but he knows how to get out because he knows it happens. It happens. That's what happens with a Baal Tshuva, and he has all kinds of eitzes, like the Maggid says that you should say. A person should say, "I could have everything," but the Eibishter said not. So I'm going to listen to the Eibishter said. The Maggid said, "That's for tzaddikim, not for Baal Tshuva." But the Tshuva have to abhor the evil because they have to, you know. Tzaddik doesn't know how to deal with it. And because Dafke, the Baal Tshuva, has been there and he's done that and he's got into this entanglement, he found his way out. If he found his way out once, he can find it again. And not only if he found it once, he can find it again. The fact that he came out, why did you come back to the Ribbon Shalom? You went somewhere else. Why did you come back? He wasn't happy there. So so here we see that he has a very deep and strong connection. So by a tzaddik, the kedusha is l'shaita. It's now. When the godly light is here and everything is pure, he's beautiful and he's close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But what would happen if he'll end up in a terrible place? We don't know what's going to happen. That's a tzaddikim. But Bali Tshuva, we know, he already went away. And he found his way out of his entanglement. Bal Tshuva is the kedusha that's in the heart of a Bal Tshuva, is l'shaita and l'osed lava. The first base of Mikdash when Yidden went in, they were tzaddikim. So therefore, but tzaddikim, the kedusha, you never know what's going to be in the future. Al tam and atzmcha be'emoisach. You don't know what's going to be with tzaddikim. But the Bal Tshuva, he might stumble again, but doesn't matter. He's going to come back because he proved himself that he's going to come back. So therefore, the Bal Tshuva is kitcha l'shaita and kitcha l'osed lava. The kedusha of a tzaddik is it's l'shaita. But if chas v'shalom become a goy and defile the kedusha, we don't know what's going to be. But the Bal Tshuva, the kedusha is kitcha l'shaita, kitcha l'osed lava. The kedusha is very, very powerful. Therefore, now we understand, going back to the Rogat, that he says that the first, in the beginning of our parsha, whenever the Eibusha talks about eretz yisrael, it's b'loshen matona. And the end of the parsha, by the B'nai Absarim, the Eibusha uses the loshen Yerusha. Matona, there's a difference between Yerusha and Matona. Matona is all the giver. The Matona is the giver. The Yerusha, it's not with the giver. If he doesn't want to give, doesn't matter, he doesn't want to give, unless he decided to give away before he died as a Matona. But if he has nechosim and he died, automatically they gets it. He wants, he doesn't want. And even if he doesn't want it, the din is you're not supposed to. Adam chosed v'tzadik is never going to sign a Yerusha where the father is not giving his Yerusha to his children, because it's not the right thing to do. So by Matana it's the giver. By Yerusha it's the taker. And furthermore, the din is as Yerusha ein lahefsek, Matana yesh lahefsek. There's a concept of like I'll give you say like this. Okay, this beautiful camera belongs to me. You know what? I give it to you for a week, and then you pass it on to Chaim Yankel for another week. Yerusha, there's no such thing. Can't say, you know what? I'll give you this Yerusha. You can have it for a year, and then you pass. There is no Yerusha ein lahefsek. Matana yesh lahefsek. I give him Matana. It belongs to you. I'm an asla achzit. Oh, you know what? You don't have to give it back to me. Give it in 3 weeks. Give it to the other guy. But you're chayav to give it. It belongs to you for 3 weeks, and then it doesn't. The Yerusha, if it becomes yours for 30 seconds, that's it. Ein lo hefsek. There's no such thing. And then I'm going to give it Yerusha. You can matana a person before he dies. He says that Chaim, Zorach, Peretz, Chaim Yankel, 10 people, each one for 3 weeks, no problem. But Yerusha, there's no such thing. The first base I make which is the kedusha l'shaita, but not liyosed lava. Kedusha was only mitzad the kedusha of the holy light that was there. But if it's defiled, we don't know what's going to happen. The kedusha is not going to stay. That's matona because the kedusha is mitzad the kedush baruch. But the second base I make the kedusha is a yerusha because it's not. It's a shaykh to the yid. It's shaykh for the yid. It turns out that the yid is a ben yochid to the eibishter. Yabenok hara de avua. So therefore, it's etzem amoydish. So therefore, it's a deeper kedusha, and therefore, ein lo hefsek. Matona, there's a hefsek. Yerusha, there is no hefsek, and that's the gewalt of the second kedusha. The meila, and a day like today, we have to know that it's not to do with if Trump or if it's Hillary Clinton. The eretz yisrael belongs as a nachlas olam that belongs to Klal Yisrael. And therefore, you didn't have to know that the bias of eretz yisrael has nothing to do with koichem ha'etziyodi. It's nothing to do with a strong military or foxy, smart political maneuvers. The eretz yisrael belongs to Yidden because they wish to promise in this week's parsha, at time and again and again and again and again. And for the beginning, it's Melosh Matona and then Yerusha, and we know that kedusha rishona, kitch l'shaita, kitch l'yosed lava. And therefore, even though when we say bedavenim nechateinu galinu ma'atzenu, it's atzeinu, it's our land, and it's admoseinu. So b'meila, it's we have to know that the kedusha Yisrael has nothing to do with the goyim, and the meila has only to do with the Eden. But the Eibusha should help that the few moments that are left in Golus, that the goyim should do their job to help the Eden, to help the Eden, and then that Mashiach Tzidkenu will come, and then we'll be Malachim Umnayich, V'Saresem and Ikasayich.